Welcome back. Today we have Kent Bissell, president of DefensiveDriving.com, who has grown his company from Texas to a national powerhouse using online marketing, specifically with pay-per-click. Kent, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Ross.
So tell us about what exactly is this pay-per-click? What is that all about?
Well, pay-per-click is, think of it this way. It's the old way of putting an ad in the yellow pages. Now, most people today probably don't know what a yellow page is. So it's the way of getting the internet, the e-commerce world, the folks that are out there, 68% using Google. When they do a search, you want your product to appear. So that's your ad to say, come to my website.
Right. Okay, so now that brings up a question. Now, how do you know what you want to put, I guess, your clicks on, you're paying on? Because how do you know like what search terms to use, I guess?
Well, search terms are pretty critical, and you know, when I started doing pay-per-click advertising myself, you know, you do kind of get in there and you kind of make some strategic guesses. But you know, at DefensiveDriving.com, we obviously built a whole website based on a name, and so that search term was that domain name that we wanted to have, which was relevant to our industry. So search terms are critical because what are people looking for? And as people have gotten more sophisticated in the mobile world, there's a lot what they call long tail. So you have to figure out what is it you're selling? What is it that the buyer is looking for? And you get a lot of that. There's feedback, a lot of good pay-per-click firms such as Server-Side Design or even the analytics that you can set up with Google will tell you what are people searching for. They can actually tell you the trends of what people are searching for. So if you're a pizza place and you're in Houston, Texas, you might find out what search terms people have been searching in for pizza. So is it pepperoni? Right. Is it, so that is the way you set up your pay-per-click ad.
So what would you see regarding your business and any other business? What are the pros and cons of using pay-per-click?
Well, that's a great question, Joanna. One of the things I found with pay-per-click is it's extremely expensive, okay? And you have to manage your money very well. At DefensiveDriving.com, believe it or not, defensive driving, the keyword, can average $7 per click, which is up there with tourism, travel industry, lawyers, what have you. So you have to have a good idea, and really, it takes a lot of time to do this, and that's why we have partnered with a firm to do it because I didn't have enough time. You can spend money rather quickly if you set your budget and you don't know who you're marketing to and tracking those conversions, if you will. So setting a budget is very important, and with pay-per-click, the con to it is that you can run your money and you can spend your advertising budget in a day without seeing the results because it's real time. And if you're not targeting the right audience, you can get in a lot of, well, you won't get the return on investment that you can. You won't maximize your spend.
And then you can also track what's going on as well, correct? I mean, can you elaborate on that? I mean, how are you doing that with your business?
With our business, our ads are basically, you know, we run on basic different search terms, if you will. So if I'm going into New Jersey, and I might say that New Jersey defensive driving is a search term that I want to maximize to. Right. So I can actually see at the ad level what search terms, what people are hitting that ad from what search terms. And so based on that, you do a process of optimization. Again, you'd have to spend 24 hours you could be there 24/7 on the computer watching which ads are performing, which terms are performing. So that's why it's good to have a partner like I do, and Server-Side Design helps me manage the campaigns. Before, I was running all our pay-per-click marketing at DefensiveDriving.com myself. And I had lunch with a friend one day, and he said, "You're crazy, because you're spending $70,000 a month in pay-per-click marketing, and are you getting the results from that?"
Right. And
so it's a full-time job. You really need somebody that can actually dedicate the time to see which ads, which terms, which are relevant, and you get quality scores as well. And it depends. You know, Google is obviously the big monster in the pay-per-click search engine marketing world. They encompass probably 80% of the market is what I see, and then Yahoo and Bing incorporate the rest. But there's a lot of content marketing that they have, a lot of displays. There's different directories, if you will, on the web. Right. And so what's important is that you have a good, clear vision of how you're going to spend your money, what you want to spend your money on, and what your market is. You know,
Yeah.
with defensive driving, we're a regional advertiser, so we want to advertise Texas, states that we're in, Florida, New Jersey, California, but others are more local and they can concentrate their dollars. But it's still a small business owner. If you have a business, you have to be on the forefront of pay-per-click marketing, because people aren't going to the paper, they're not going to the radio, they're getting all their information from either a handheld device or their computer.
Right.
And,
Okay.
so it's important that you have a good pay-per-click campaign and a good search engine marketing strategy in place.
So it sounds like what you're saying is before you even get started with pay-per-click, you need to have a clear vision of what you're trying to accomplish, what kind of search terms you want to capitalize on, that sort of thing.
Yeah, and you want to have those search terms are really your site. So what is your strategic plan? You know, what are you selling, Ross? Because that all marries to the success that you'll have with pay-per-click.
Yeah.
Because if your website is defensivedriving.com and you're trying to sell boats, you're not gonna have a very effective campaign. If you're selling driver safety courses, you will. But if you're selling, you know, depending on what your product is and your strategic vision, you know, that website should be designed, that term should be designed all around the product that you're selling. What is it you're marketing?
Yeah.
Is it yourself? Is it your brand? What is it you're exactly marketing?
I have a question. What made you make the decision whether you're going to go pay-per-click or what I've heard, this impression thing, where you got the impression? So don't you have a choice between clicks or impressions? What factors come into play there?
Pay-per-click, in my mind, as far as impressions go, you think about it the old, you're going to buy time. Okay, so let's say you go to a radio show and they say, you know what, we're gonna sell you a commercial and it's based on our market. So we're gonna sell you the ad based on the fact that we reach 3.5 million people in your demographic every day. And that's how we're gonna base our ad sales. Impressions are kind of the same way. We're gonna sell you X number of impressions, but it doesn't necessarily mean that that impression is relevant to the search term. It's just an impression that they've typed in something. They might not look at your ad, but it might not even be relevant to you. So for instance, if I have defensivedriving.com has a course in New Jersey, right? And I want to sell people in New Jersey, but there's people in New York. The New York people are going to see my ad, potentially, but that impression means nothing to me. Pay-per-click allows you to actually filter down and say, this is what I want to be charged for. This is what I want to pay for.
I see.
From an advertising perspective. And that's good because that allows you to say what the costs are. Impressions are more like, we're going to broadcast it out to the world, and we're going to charge you based on the number of impressions you get.
Well, that's great because you can figure out how much you're spending. I mean, you can set and know what your marketing dollars are every month, every quarter.
You can do it by hour if you want.
Oh,
I mean,
love
literally
that.
with pay-per-click, that's one of the things that you can control, and that's why, and that's the level of granularity in a competitive market. Like if you're a tourist agent, you probably are not doing a good job of managing your pay-per-click campaign because you don't have the time, because it's literally, you can do by hour, but it's definitely, you can set your costs. You can say, you know, I want to pay X number of dollars for that many impressions. Or you can say, you know, I'm going to set my budget to be this, and I know how many clicks I'm going to get. I'm going to do a back-end equation to say that will equal so many conversions to where I have an ROI.
Wow, Kent, that's great stuff. I wish we had more time to discuss more of this.
It's been great. Thank you.
About this topic. Well, Kent, we really want to thank you for being on the show. Thanks for sharing those tips with us to help us to improve our business. And certainly we want to continue the conversation, so we want you to go on our website, go to facebook.com, and we can continue this conversation, as well as on our website at maxyourbusinesstv.com. So we look forward to having you back with us on Max Your Business.